Week 11 in MLS and 14 games to get stuck into. As the top two came head-to-head in the East, teams from the West sought to keep pace with the leading quartet. And we begin at Lumen Field, where the CONCACAF champions, the Seattle Sounders, welcomed Minnesota United.
6 visits,
Seattle leads.
6 defeats.
They're under duress again, and that will wrap it up.
Minnesota winless in Seattle.
I can't even find the words, but Seattle's found the goal.
Could the Sounders inflict more suffering?
Jump high! How about that?
Commentary comes from David Connolly and Dan Roebuck.
Morris left-hand side calling for it. Rui Diaz to the centre. Push forward towards Jordan Morris. This is Morris with a dink. Oh, it's hit the post. Oh, and it's cleared away. Unbelievable. Was it Debasi?
Absolutely magnificent movement here from Morris. Goes in, then comes out. St. Clair, not too sure. Might be better staying on his line there.
Frangipani. Falud. Ferenoso to set himself. Still has it. Frangipani in Falud. Oh, might get a chance here. Can't miss. Minnesota lead. And it's the Loons that have the advantage at Lumen Field.
Lovely little bit of play here on the edge of the box between Frangipani, Reynoso. Reynoso slips it through to Frangipani. Is he offside? He's close. Puts the ball across the box. And yeah, he just loses the ball in between his feet. And there is Lod. Makes no mistake just to wrap his left foot around that, bend it into the corner.
Kalman realised where Rui Diaz was, and this is Rusnak, and that's a good ball here for Roldan, who's still going forward, and he's gone down. And the referee with the decision here. Roldan, was he caught by Trapp?
Yeah, he's given a penalty here for the foul on Roldan. This is a superb pass into the feet of Roldan, breaks into the box, and it was clumsy, wasn't it, from Trapp?
Dane Sinclair sets himself. He's got a terrific record saving penalties. Can he do it again? Rui Diaz! Oh, well, Dane Sinclair gets his hand to it, but it ends up in the back of the net. And Seattle Sounders are level. 1-1, 5 minutes into the second half.
Yeah, Rui Diaz just rifles this into the roof of the net.
Morris. Rui Diaz. This is Roldan! Oh, that is something really special! And the Seattle Sounders are back in business in Major League Soccer.
Here it is, just comes across, lets the ball run across his body there, then twists his hips, and it's a fantastic finish, angled into that far corner.
First Rui Diaz, then Roldan. Sounders back in the old routine. Roldan's on the move, Kalman is across. Rui Diaz inside the area. This is Lodero! Oh, yes! The Continental Kings mean business domestically, all right.
Yeah, Rusnak and Roldan at the heart of everything, though. Brilliant run from Rui Diaz across the near post. Just drags DJ Taylor with him. What composure.
Really good second half display. Just the 3 in the end. Full time, Seattle Sounders 3, Minnesota United 1.
I just didn't think that our team played as well as they could. That's credit in part to Minnesota and Adrian and getting his team ready, because the West is going to be a dogfight. And, you know, again, just we survived a little bit until our quality showed through.
The Sounders' Cascadian rivals, the Portland Timbers, took a first-half lead against Sporting Kansas City as Bill Tuiloma jumped high to head home Eric Williamson's free kick. But this match really took off following the break, when Christian Paredes lobbed an inviting pass to Sebastian Blanco. Less than 30 seconds after the teams had returned from the locker rooms, That launched a frantic 11-minute spell, which delivered 3 more goals and had Portland firmly on course for just their 2nd home win of the season.
Blanco cutting it back! Ho-ho! Sebastian Blanco!
2 for the Argentinian, rapidly followed by an assist for a fellow South American.
Nathan! Oh my word!
A minute later, signs of life from SKC. Perhaps feeling slightly too comfortable, the Timbers allowed Felipe Hernandez all the time in the world to pick out Johnny Russell, whose rapid retrieval of the ball was more optimistic than realistic, with his side still 3 goals adrift. Defensively, the visitors remained wide open on their right flank. Another attack went unchecked as Blanco exchanged passes with Williamson before feeding Nathan again. The Brazilian had made the most of his MLS debut. 5-1 now, in case you've lost count, and the drama wasn't confined to the scoring chart. Jose Carlos Van Rankin's challenge on Daniel Shallowy was rash, as he'd already been booked, leaving the home team to see out their victory for the remaining 16 minutes with 10 men. And there was further punishment from a fierce free kick, flicked in by Marinos Jonis. Though the scoreline remained lopsided, the numbers on the field weren't uneven for very long. SKC's Robert Volada tangled with Tega Akoba, and a second caution meant that was his participation finished for the evening. For a whole 10 minutes, things calmed down slightly, but a remarkable second half came to a suitably breathless conclusion. Marvin Loria netted Portland's 6th to equal their highest MLS tally for a single match and put the team on the brink of history, which beckoned in stoppage time for substitute Santiago Moreno.
Moreno around Melia. Moreno makes it 7. A new club record. The dam has been broken through by the Portland Timbers tonight.
The Colorado Rapids finished in top spot in the West last year, and LAFC led the way in 2022. But as impressive as the visitors have been in recent weeks, they offered up an unwanted exchange of form in Commerce City. Sebastian Ibeaga's right boot deemed to be closer to Diego Rubio's face than it was the ball, and it allowed Jazi Zardes to score his first in Colorado colours after switching from Columbus last month. 7 minutes later, the Rapids were given another penalty for a foul on Jonathan Lewis. This time, Francisco Ginella was far too forceful with his body. Shoulder to shoulder, it wasn't. Zardes gave this spot kick up for Rubio, who was denied. But a quick check of the footage showed that neither of LAFC goalkeeper John McCarthy's feet were touching the line. So Rubio went again, and this time made it impossible for any intervention from McCarthy. That was the Chilean's 6th goal this season, more than he managed in the whole of 2021, and Colorado were in the market for more after the break too. A frantic few seconds saw Zardes hit the woodwork, and before LAFC could even take stock of their fortune, it happened again. Same post, different player. Austin Trusty luckless with his lunge. LAFC beaten for the first time in over a month. The Rapids now unbeaten at home in the regular season for over a year.
The LA Galaxy and FC Dallas were both well placed to take advantage of that LAFC defeat, 3rd and 4th respectively. The Texans seized the opportunity, in front in the 11th minute thanks to the free-scoring Jesus Ferreira. It was only the 2nd time the Galaxy had conceded from open play all season and prompted a response which ended in controversy. Chicharito thwarted by Jimmy Mara with the help of the post, but the Mexican was convinced the ball had crossed the line. With a second look, you could understand his frustration. While that was still being discussed, Dallas took advantage of the distraction.
Nario with the left-footed shot, he scores! And now the Galaxy in a lot of trouble.
And just 3 minutes after Paul Arriola stretched the lead, his team took total command.
This is dangerous. Ferrara looking for a second, and Dallas is going to make it 3-0. Right there.
The leading scorer in MLS now up to 9 goals for the campaign. And that's also how many league matches FC Dallas have gone unbeaten. Derek Williams rattled the crossbar as the Galaxy looked for a way back into contention in the second half. And a neat free kick routine did see Douglas Costa put his name on the score sheet. But the home side couldn't build on that or deny Dallas their first win on the road.
Dallas's Texan rivals Austin FC have also been impressive in 2022, though their opening goal at Real Salt Lake will have irritated home goalkeeper Zach McMath. He didn't get his angles right, and Alex Ring profited. But immediately after the restart, a call that changed the whole complexion of the game. RSL striker Bobby Wood was nudged over by Danny Pereira, who received a straight red card for the denial of a goal-scoring opportunity. The only saving grace for Austin was that it happened outside of the penalty area, but Real Salt Lake was swiftly back in the visitors' box, and they made the extra man count. RSL look re-energised as a whole club this season. Attendances have been strong, and supporters will be pleased they were there to see this. First goals in MLS rarely come with such quality, and yet the impact of the fullback's humdinger still needed preserving by McMath, who somehow stopped Sebastian Driussi. Real Salt Lake now just a point behind the Verde and Black in the West.
The only Texan team outside the playoff places had a chance to change that when Nashville came to town. And Coco Carrasquilla opened the scoring for the Houston Dynamo 4 days after making his loan move from Spanish club Cartagena a permanent deal. A boost for the home side, who'd lost 3 in a row in MLS, only for Adam Lundqvist's lunge at Alex Will to reduce their prospects of seeing the job through. They'd have to play for the best part of an hour, a man light, but Houston shrugged off the setback, and after the break, Fafa Pico drew a foul from Joe Willis. In the circumstances, a second goal would be priceless. Darwin Quintero provided that cushion, leaving Nashville coach Gary Smith to berate his defeated team for being nowhere near the task in hand.
45 minutes went by at BC Place without a goal between Vancouver and San Jose. Marcos Lopez then smashed the crossbar, but this is a good time to catch your breath as it all became rather unrestrained after that. Lucas Cavallini was a central figure in the move for the game's first goal. He started it, then scored it to put the Whitecaps 1-up. Those fans had 10 whole minutes of soaking up the pleasure of potentially beating another struggler in the West before the Earthquakes, who can concede and score with a frequency like few others, responded. Jamiro Montero left alone to nod in the equaliser. San Jose have had some ridiculous games already this season. 2 4-3s, a 3-3, a couple of 2-2s, and this was moving in a similar direction after Jeremy Ebobisse delicately touched them in front. But the response was impressively rapid from the Whitecaps. 2 minutes later, another Canadian had his second of the campaign.
Yes!
And this was a Vancouver team without the creative influence of Ryan Gold. San Jose will be thankful they did have Ebobisse. He provided the finish to a fine move for his 7th of the season to put the Quakes ahead again inside the final 10 minutes. But just like last week for Vancouver,
With pace, it's there! Eric Godoy!
they scored another late goal. This one was worth a point rather than 3, but only after the post denied Cavallini with the very last touch of the game. In truth, it was odd not to see it go in.
Your New England Revolution! And a crazy own goal. And it's 2-2. The Reds have conceded the lead.
New England weren't at their best last week, while Atlanta's new forward has already earned his stripes.
Cisneros! Goal! Can he score? He has it!
Sam Parkin and Phil Blacker watch this one.
It's for Almada. Lovely touch and a fabulous finish It's a stunning goal. Atlanta United lead.
Really starting to show his quality. Couldn't get a meaningful delivery in from the wide positions, but the ricochet takes it into Almada, and you know exactly what he's going to do.
There's Buxa to heel. And back again, Buxa will reach it, and it's through the legs of the goalkeeper and in. And completely against the balance of play. The Revs have rescued it and are back on terms at 1-1.
Incredible. This is almost the first sequence of passes they've been able to play, and it's the front two. Hill just feeling it into the space. Lovely weight on the pass. It means that Buxa can take that first time, and I think that's just a player banging confidence.
Here is Sebastian Leggett taking on Gutmann. He's looking for Buxa. Atlanta want the offside flag. Buxa sticks it away. The appeals continue, but the flag has stayed down. The goal is given, and Adam Buxa has his second of the afternoon.
I felt that the flag was going to go up. It just takes his position off the back of Franco. It looks very, very tight, but he looks to be on, doesn't he? And he kills it. Fires it straight at Shuttleworth once more. He can't get an arm up in time. Flashes past him into the roof of the net.
Thiago Almada has Polster with him. Lennon. Revs readying a change as they come under pressure. It's beautifully worked. And it's finished off by Araujo, and Atlanta United are level. Wonderful football in the build-up to find a way through, and a cool finish to follow from Araujo. 2-2.
Terrific goal. It's those forward players, that flexible system, very difficult to pick up. Moreno, Almada, that is just a delight. Wonderful goal.
Carlos Hill, the reigning MLS MVP. Looking it wider. Traustason straight into the action, might break for Buxa. Looking for the hat-trick. An important touch, takes it over the top.
A wonderful pass, crossfield ball from Carlos Hill. And again, that's brilliant forward play.
Farrell forward has found Carlos Hill. Looking to dink it in. Might get another go. He takes it away from Moreno. In first time, Buxa there again! And so too was Shuttleworth.
That looks like a simple pass from Carlos Hill, but look at the weight of it. Perfect. Traustason, good position, brilliant ball. And credit Shuttleworth. What a right hand that is.
Polster has come clear with it for the Revolution. He has plenty of options. This is McNamara! Off the post from Tommy McNamara, and the Revs a whisker away. Revs nearly had one here.
Great execution, so unfortunate to see it hit the post.
Great entertainment, but it ends ultimately with the honours even. But a point apiece maybe not enough to satisfy either. Full time at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Atlanta United 2, the New England Revolution 2.
Probably could have done a little better job protecting the lead in the second half, but the one thing that was a positive, at the end of the game, at least we closed the game out and didn't concede a goal like we've done in a number of games this year. So that side of it's a positive.
It was first versus second at Subaru Park, with leaders the Philadelphia Union in faltering form. So Daniel Gazdag's goal straight after half-time was just what the home club required, as they tried to put a 4-match winless league run behind them. It left the New York Red Bulls in danger of their first away defeat of the season, and losing Dylan Nealis to a second yellow card did nothing to help their cause. The Union's chance to push on and make use of the extra space. Alejandro Bedoya found plenty of room, only to steer his volley wide of the mark. That left the door ajar for the depleted Red Bulls to mount a fight back. And from Cameron Harper's pass, Luquinhas levelled the scores. The tireless midfielders made a good impression since signing from Legia Warsaw, but the whole team would have to work hard to protect a point. 11 minutes from time, Jim Curtin and his Philadelphia players thought they'd inflicted a decisive blow. Julian Carranza successful after Corey Burke was foiled, but the video review rendered the celebrations academic, offside, and still 1-1. Right at the end, Burke was face-to-face with Carlos Coronel again. Once more, the keeper came out on top, forcing Curtin to settle for a damaging fourth successive league draw.
Hot on the heels of the Red Bulls and Philadelphia was CF Montreal, but they were at a Charlotte side who'd won 4 in a row in the Queen City. Had Andre Shinyashiki been rewarded for his brilliance, that trend may have continued. Instead, Charlotte were behind just before the break, courtesy of something far more straightforward. Georgi Mihailovic with a 6th of a productive season so far. And Montreal took the game away from their hosts after half-time. You could almost hear Alistair Johnston's roar rippling around a stunned Bank of America stadium. The expansion side were getting used to winning here.
Orlando were back on Canadian soil after a 4-1 defeat in Montreal last weekend. When Junior Urso lifted Juan's cross over the bar, they feared more disappointment, not the first opportunity they'd squandered. Mauricio Pereira's free kick was more accurate, but Alex Bono proved an agile opponent as Toronto closed in on their first clean sheet of the year, only to suffer a 5th successive defeat in stoppage time.
Pato's ball in, it's glanced in towards the back post, and Orlando City have stolen it.
NYCFC have been potent at Yankee Stadium. There's been 9 goals in their past 2 games there, and all of them have been scored by Ronnie Dyler's team. Columbus felt the heat too, just 9 minutes in after Tylis Magno's finish. He almost had an assist to his name too. Tati Castellanos shut out by the fingertips of Aloy Room. But, as ever with the Argentine, it's seemingly impossible to keep him quiet for long.
Tati chips it over and in. Tati Castellanos makes it 2-0.
And it means the Crew are still winless on their travels this season.
Few expected FC Cincinnati to be sat just above NYCFC in the East heading into week 11. They hardly required a helping hand, but got one when Rafael Shihas dramatically misjudged his goalkeeper's position and put through his own net. With the Chicago Fire deep in the mire at the bottom, Chris Mueller set off on a one-man mission to get them back onto level terms. Roman Celentano prevented what would have been a wonderful equaliser. He was beaten, though, in the closing stages by a teenager on target for the first time in MLS. Joy for young Colombian John Duran and Chicago, which turned out to be short-lived, because almost immediately a couple of loose touches from Gaga Slanina gifted victory to the visitors.
This could be another disaster for the Fire here. It is Acosta, and just like that, FC Cincinnati retake the lead.
Inter Miami were trying to haul themselves away from the depths of the Eastern Conference standings, and it's hard to imagine quite where they'd be without Leonardo Campana's contributions. His clinical finish against DC United continued an astonishing statistic whereby he's had a hand in every Miami goal since April the 2nd. A run that was finally over when Damian Lowe guided in Jean Motta's corner. But the host 2-goal advantage was reduced in first half stoppage time by Taxi Funtas, who has also hit the ground running on his first season in MLS. This was goal number 5 in as many games. But it's the performances from the Greek that has some DC fans comparing his impact to that of Luciano Acosta in 2018. He provided the flashy element to Ola Kamara's equaliser with 16 minutes to go. Miami's form perpetually frustrates Phil Neville, as it did last season. A lack of consistency has been prevalent throughout his reign. Still, Campana almost had the final say, but by the time DC's Chris Durkin received a second yellow card, the window of opportunity had already come and gone for the Herons. This was DC's first draw all season, though Neville will still be wondering just how they were allowed to get it.
That point lifted DC United up to 8th in the East, where the top 5 places all changed hands. As Montreal took top spot from Philly, the Red Bulls dropped to 5th, and Cincinnati rose to 4th.
LAFC remain top of the West despite losing at the Rapids, who moved into the top 7, and so have Houston, which means all 3 Texan sides now occupy a playoff spot as Dallas rose to 2nd.
We saw 48 goals across MLS in Week 11. Take it away, the Portland Timbers.
Blanco cutting it back! Ho-ho! Moreno around Melia. Moreno makes it 7! A new club record!
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.